Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to America once again, and we're going to kick off what I guess you could term as being a little bit of a mini-series that will appear on the channel over the next couple of weeks. So about 2 weeks prior to filming this review, which incidentally is the 9th of June 2019, I was over in America in the state of Iowa, in Okoboji to be specific, for a friend's wedding, an old friend from university. And when I got back to Chicago to fly back to Copenhagen, one of my long-term followers, Jess Holden, very kindly gave me an awesome beer tour around the kind of Chicago area. Chicago, incidentally, has something like 160 breweries. It's the beer capital, if you like, of America. And I'd met him a couple of weeks prior in Copenhagen and showed him around some of the touristy areas and also some of the beer destinations as well. So he kind of returned the favour, and he's been following the channel for something like 6 years. So a huge shout out to him for making this review possible, as well as a good number of the others that you're going to see over the coming weeks. So yeah, big metal sign to Jess for this one. And this beer I'm really looking forward to, because this is one of the breweries that he was instrumental in introducing me to, and I thought where better to go to kick off this mini series than the first brewery that he actually took me to on this little beer tour. So for this one we're going to go to Munster in Indiana for my third review on the channel, and we're having a taste of yet another beer from Three Floyds Brewery. So this one is called the Permanent Funeral. It's an Imperial IPA coming in at 10% ABV, and it's a collaboration with Pig Destroyer, who are a grindcore band from Virginia. And there's no other way to describe Pig Destroyer other than being pretty fucking brutal, to be honest. These guys, it's blast beats, it's riffs. I can appreciate the guitar riffs and stuff like that. You know, grindcore really isn't my sort of brand of metal. I'm really into doom metal, power metal, thrash metal, folk metal and things like that. The grindcore stuff is a little bit brutal for me, but it's a band that a lot of people like, and you know, Three Floyds really are into their metal music as well. And if you visit War Pigs, which is their kind of collaboration with Mikkeller, in Copenhagen, you'll definitely get that sort of vibe from them. But this beer is one that I know is very good. I tried this when I was in the brew pub with Jess, and incidentally you will see a brewery visit video appear within the next week or so after this review airs, so I hope you enjoy that as well. We weren't able to do a tasting video in the brewery because, you know, they got a little bit shitty about that, which I was annoyed about, but the quality of the beer, this is very good, and I know that this is a very nice beer, so I'm looking forward to doing a bit more of a kind of in-depth tasting for you in this video, and I hope you guys enjoy my take on that, and I hope you enjoy the brewery visit video that will appear soon as well. But yeah, that's let's get on to the actual video part of this video, if you like. So as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Three Floyds before. No doubt we'll add some more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the American beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, on to my brewery notes to tell you a little bit about Three Floyds. So Three Floyds, as I've mentioned to you numerous times already, are based in Munster in Indiana, and they were founded back in 1996 by Mike Floyd and his two sons Nick and Simon. So Nick is the main man when it actually comes to brewing the beer, and apparently he travelled a lot around Europe, you know, Belgium, Czech, Germany, England, stuff like that, and he learned a lot about different hops and malts and yeasts and things like that, and he later studied at the Siebel Institute in Chicago, which has actually given birth to a good number of the breweries in Chicago. You know, there's somewhere in the region of 160 breweries in that city, so it's known as the American craft beer capital these days. Simon, on the other hand, is a trained chef, and he works in another restaurant now, but Mike was a medical doctor. He enjoyed tinkering with brewing and stuff like this too, and he still actually tinkers with some of the recipes in the brewery as well. But the brewery was originally based in Hammond, which is a little bit north of their current Munster home in Indiana, but they're now based in Munster, as I mentioned to you, which is right on the kind of Indiana-Illinois border. And apparently they started the brewery out with just a few $100s. They had a 5-barrel system with a Frankenstein wok burner underneath and some kind of Swiss cheese open fermenters, if you like. But they also stick to the basic tenets of German purity law, the Reinheitsgebot, and they say that this allows them to brew a whole variety of different styles. And you know, I have to say, when I was in the brew pub, they actually did have a huge variety of different things there. They had Scotch ales, they had you know, German Dunkels, I think, they had some different pale ales, IPAs, some stouts and things like this as well. So they do have an impressive array of different styles, whereas normally you find a lot of breweries just stick to one style, one or two styles in fact, that they're good at. So you have to give Three Floyds credit for that. They do try a whole variety of different things. But they have their current brew pub on the Indiana Parkway in Munster. It's basically in the middle of an industrial estate, if you like, but this has a little takeout kiosk for different beers. They also offer first come first served tours of the brewery every Saturday, and today they're producing somewhere in the region of 10,000 barrels of beer per year. So they are still a fairly small operation in the grand scheme of craft beer, but they have got a whole variety of different things there. They've produced somewhere in the region of 300 different beers from what I gather over the course of their history. So a very impressive brewery, you know, world renowned. One of the main guys there for a long period of time was Barnaby Struve, who also worked at Stigberry. It's over here, a South African guy who was very, very into his metal and helped shape the image of the brewery quite significantly from what I gather. But yeah, a brewery, you know, very, very well renowned for their beers. You've seen me review Zombie Dust, you've also seen me review Robert the Bruce, and this will be my third review from them. And when I was in the brewery tasting room, I was impressed with the quality of the beers that I was able to try there as well. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about Three Floyds for the moment. If you get the chance to go and visit them, I do recommend that you do that. I tried to film a tasting video in their tasting room, and they were like, oh, you need to contact our media person to do this, which was a little bit annoying in fact, but you know, I've heard, you know, strange things about their customer service, but the quality of the beer is pretty good, and I guess that is the main thing actually. So yeah, as I always say, check out the brewery website in the description below. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, and that will keep you up to date with all the latest goings on there. But let's get on to the actual tasting of this beer itself then. So this one, as I mentioned to you at the start of the video, is a 10% Imperial IPA, and it's brewed in collaboration with the grindcore band Pig Destroyer from Virginia. So I'll let you have a little look at the artwork before we open it up. You know, it's almost like Motorhead on steroids or something like that. You know, the old Motorhead symbol with the pig's head. I do quite like that. There you can see Pig Destroyer. It says on the side here, the wolf inside this pale ale is trying to walk upright. This bright and aromatic beer was brewed with our friends in the band Pig Destroyer, threefloyds.com. Nothing else really on this one. One of the things I've noticed about Three Floyds actually is that they don't state the alcohol content of their beers on the bottles, and there's a few other American breweries do that too, but there you can see the Three Floyds bottle cap on this one, which is the same as the other ones. Incidentally, this beer is, I think it's 22 or 18 fluid ounces, which is somewhere in the region of 650 millilitres in real people measurements. I had to calculate that before actually doing the video. But yeah, I never understand why they don't just put it in millilitres in America. It would be a hell of a lot easier, and it would make a lot more sense than cups and fluid ounces and all of that shit. But yeah, you know, let's get it out and we'll get on with the tasting. Really curious to see how this beer turns out outside of the brewery. So yeah, again, a huge thank you to Jess Holden for making this review possible. You can see a nice little bit of smoke on the opening, and we'll get it out and into the glass. So, you know, at 10% ABV and at 100 IBUs, it will be kind of somewhat akin to the 1000 IBU beer, I guess, that I had from Mikkeller a good number of years ago. But this one is a West Coast IPA, I will tell you that actually when we open it up. So if I hold this beer up to the light, it does have a good little bit of transparency to it. I'm not sure how well you're going to see that on the camera, but it's a nice kind of rich amber colour. There's a solid one finger frothy, I would say slightly cream coloured head on this one. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and a few little ones just heading up towards the bottom of that head there. But you know, overall it does look pretty damn nice, I have to say. And the one thing they said to me about this beer is that it's in the pub is that it's supposed to be very well balanced with the malt, and I've really missed that over the last kind of couple of months, you know, these well balanced West Coast IPAs and things like that. So yeah, let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with this beer. So yeah, straight away with this one, you can see you can smell a really nice sort of caramelly malt base. It's got a lovely sort of toast. It's got a little bit of a kind of toasty brown sugar note to it, but mainly a kind of slightly syrupy, but also quite sweet caramel. You can pick up a little bit of a biscuity note to it. You can smell also some kind of white bready notes in there as well. It's got that typical sort of West Coast malt base to it, which is just really quite nice. You know, it smells like a typical West Coast IPA. You know, you could sit and smell this one all day, to be honest with you. If you like this style of beer, I think you are really going to enjoy this one. Just take a bit of time and enjoy that for yourself. On the hoppy side of things, a really nice sort of, on the green side of things, it's got a nice sort of floral aromaticity. It's almost a little bit resinous actually. There is a good bit of an almost slightly piney resin to this one, but I think it leans more towards the floral side of things. Nice bit of lighter grassiness and just a little touch of earthiness. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of mosaic in here, to be honest with you, just because of that little bit of earthiness that's in there. Earthiness is just a little bit of a hint, it is a bit of a giveaway, if you like, of the mosaic hop. It's one of the kind of trademarks. So yeah, but nice juicy orangey notes coming out of this one. There could be a little bit of Amarillo or something in there as well. And I think there might be a bit of Centennial, because it does have a little bit of that lemony citrus too, which is really nice. So yeah, oranges. I want to say there's a little bit of an apricot-y note to this beer as well. Yeah, it has a little bit of a kind of apricot-y peary kind of thing going on too, which is interesting, but mainly it's a nice big oily orange with a little bit of that limey note that you would lemony note that you would expect of Centennial. I'm pretty sure there's a bit of Centennial in this one. It does have that kind of slightly sharper citrusy character, but to me this one comes across as one of these more medicinally malty kind of West Coast IPAs. The aroma is really nice. I do like how much the malt is pushing its way out in this one, and when it's 10% ABV, to be honest, that is something that you really would expect, to be honest with you. You know, this is a pretty damn, a pretty big beast of a beer, rather than anything else, but it was quite warming from what I remember in the brew pub. But as I always say, take a little bit of time and just enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck in, because this one is pretty damn special from memory. But let's have a look at it again and see how we get on. So this one is the Permanent Funeral, an Imperial IPA at 10% ABV. I'm not sure whether you would term this as a double or a triple IPA. You know, to be honest, who cares? I will put this one down as an Imperial IPA from Three Floyds Brewing in Munster in Indiana. Once again, a huge thank you to Jesse for making this one and some of the other beers in this mini-series possible. Let's get stuck in. Slàinte Skål. Yeah. That is an absolute monster of a beer. I've really just missed that big bitter kick that you get from these West Coast IPAs. This one is just brutal. I love it. You know, it really fits that kind of metal aura, if you like, that this brewery have. It comes in and it's just got that nice malty sweetness, and then you get the hoppy fruitiness, and then it just dries out and you start to get the big bitterness out of the beer in the aftertaste. I've really missed these West Coast IPAs, so you know, we'll just give this sign to show you how good the beer is. If you ever get the chance to try this one, have a go at it. You know, it's one of the things I have, as I say, I have heard things about Three Floyds customer service. They were fine with us, apart from rather than letting me film in the brew pub, telling me to contact their media person. Other than that, you know, the people in the pub were pretty damn nice, I have to say. You know, the guy in the kiosk really helped me out with some artwork and things, and you will see that appear behind me over the next couple of videos. But you know, this one is a lovely beer, and I was very keen to try this one. They didn't have it on bottle in the kiosk when I was there. I had to get this one at the shop that Jesse took me to, and I traded him this one for one of the other ones that I'd already bought. This bottle, incidentally, was $12, so it is a bit pricey compared to some of the other American beers you can get. But you know, when you try some beers from Three Floyds, you are, in some of these cases, just that, you know, bugger it, why not? And this beer certainly is worth it to try. Yeah, this is lovely. I mean, let's just try and break this down a little bit then. So in the middle of your palate, you can just feel that nice, smooth, bready malt blanket in the middle of your tongue. I think this is some sort of two-row malt that's in here. It's definitely an American malt base. It might have a little bit of German in there as well. It maybe has a little bit of Weirmann in there too, but mainly it's a nice smooth white bready quality. It does have a little bit of a brown bready note to it as well. In the very centre of your palate you can pick out that sort of more caramelly note. It's a little bit toasted right enough, but it does lean towards the sweeter side of caramel, and as you come out from the centre of your palate you can feel that the beer gradually gets a little bit more biscuity the further out that you come. And that works for it really nicely as well. It almost has a little bit of a kind of medicinally sort of syrupy quality also. Yeah, it's it really is very nice. I mean, the more and more that you drink of this beer, the sweeter it becomes. And like I said, it starts off and it's quite wet and oily, and then the hoppy bitterness really gets you in the after part of the beer. It really just, this is one that dries out quite a lot the further you go into the aftertaste. It really, that 100 IBUs gives you a kick up the backside just in the tail end of the beer. But the malt base, I think, is very, very nice. They did have another beer, and as I say, I really forget what the name of that other one was that I tried, and it was a bit more lighter and bready. It didn't have the sweetness in the malt base that this one did, and that was also really nice and a bit more fruity and juicy. This one's a bit more oily and caramelly and just more balanced, and this is how I like my my West Coast IPAs. I just really like how this one goes together. If you get the chance to try this beer seriously, just have a go at it. I've said that once or twice already in this review. But yeah, the malt base in this one for me is just classic West Coast, but very, very well done. I think there's a mix of German and American malts in here, which is a really good combination. On the hoppy side of things, back corners of the palate, definitely a little bit of earthiness in there. Again, a bit of an indicator of mosaic, which I do still suspect is in here. As you come further forward along the sides of your tongue, you get a good little bit of that spicy floral aromaticity out of this beer. As you reach the very front corners of the palate, it does become gradually more sort of spicy and almost resinous, but I really think this beer's leaning towards the piney resins rather than the floral side of things rather than the piney resins. Although that resinous quality does sit there kind of underneath that, it really is more of a floral spice that's coming out of this one. And then round the very front curve of the palate, it's just a little bit lighter and more grassy, I would say. Yeah, I would definitely stick with that kind of analysis of the green side of the hops. Where this beer really starts to come alive is the kind of oily bubble that you get behind the front curve of your tongue, where all those juicy, fruity esters come out of the beer. For me, at the very back of the palate, and I mean, I'm starting to wonder if there's a little bit of Chinook or something in here, because at the very back of that oily bubble there's a little touch of grapefruit. And I am wondering if there's a little bit of Chinook in here, but I can't help but think the piney resins would be just a little bit more kind of punchy in this one. I'm finding this beer a little bit more floral. So I do wonder if there's a little touch of Chinook in here or something like that. But yeah, the very back of that oily bubble, there's a bit of there is a little bit of a Chinooky sort of dark grapefruit quality, and as you come further forward from that it gets a little bit more kind of oily and orange. I'd say it leans a little bit more towards that kind of juicy tangerine side of things, and there's also a little bit of a kind of, as you come towards the very front part of the palate, there's almost a little bit of a lemony note. I do wonder, maybe could there be a bit of Centennial in here or something like that? It does have a little bit of that slightly lemony dryness on the front part of the palate too, and that would also explain some of the kind of floral spicy notes on the side of the tongue too. I always like playing guess the hops with these beers when you don't know what's in them, but basically to sum this one up, the fruity side of the beer, grapefruit, oranges and a little bit of lemon quality for me. It's a very straight up beer, this one. It's not doing anything unusual with the style, but it's just a very, very, very well crafted beer. And you know, I've been missing the West Coast IPA, so this is one that really has just kind of struck a chord with me, if you like. So make of that what you will. I don't know how often you actually you watch the channel, but this is a very, very nice example of an imperial or double, triple, however you want to term it, West Coast IPA. So you know, if you like this style, have a go at this, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed with it. It's a big beast of a West Coast IPA. So yeah, in terms of the mouthfeel then, this beer is pretty full-bodied, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Yeah, big full-bodied beer, carbonation is very smooth. The mouthfeel really leans towards the oily side of things, rather than anything else. Good bit of hoppy bitterness to this one. I told you at the start of the video that this is a 100 IBU beer. You really can feel that. Like I said, it really dries out the further that you go into the aftertaste with this one. Good balance of smoothness and sweetness in the malt base here. That dries out the further you go into the aftertaste, and a nice oily but juicy fruity note to this one as well. I would say the mouthfeel of this one is quite dry, but at the same time it's quite sweet and quite oily too. So overall, a very, very nice beer, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this one again. It's a big bitter beast of a beer, to be honest with you, and if you like the West Coast IPAs, again, you're certainly not going to be disappointed with this one. It's an awesome beer, that, and I can see why it's pretty damn highly rated. So yeah, have a go at it for yourself and see what you think. Apparently they've also done a Milkshake IPA with this beer as well. I forget the name of with this band too, but I forget the name of that. So if you get the chance to try that, have a go at that too, and I'm sure that'll offer you something completely different from this one. This brewery, from what I understand, from what Jess told me, tend to stick more to the West Coast side of things rather than the New England side of IPAs. So yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. This one is the Permanent Funeral, an a really awesome Imperial IPA, West Coast style IPA from Three Floyds Brewing in Munster in Indiana. Again, a huge thank you to Jessie for taking me out to Three Floyds, and you will see a brewery visit video appearing in the next little while from them. And I hope you enjoy this mini series of American reviews. Thank you again for watching. Check out this beer, and I will catch you guys very soon. This one's the Permanent Funeral from Three Floyds Brewing in Munster in Indiana. Check this beer out, check out my social media, and I will catch you guys very soon. Until the next time, Slange just now. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Three Floyds Brewing. And we'll see you soon, hopefully, with more Three Floyds reviews as well. Slange, skål.